Ciao. Hi, everybody. We are doing a really fun interview right now. As you watch this interview, it is Saturday night. You're sitting on the Solare patio with me, getting ready to enjoy a fabulous evening of Prunotto wines and great food from Chef Filippo Piccini. And some of you are also going to be enjoying sort of the early part of the Italian white truffle harvest that's happening. Before we get any more of that, though, I'm delighted to introduce to you a really amazing man, Emanuele Baldi, who has been with Prunotto Winery in Piemonte for over 18 years. And he's a true representative of the industry in Piemonte and knows everything there is to know about this area, and certainly can tell us all about what's happening at the Prunotto Winery and all about the Nebbiolo grape, which is what we're excited about tonight. So Emanuele, welcome. You may want to just say a few words before I ask you a few questions in this video.
Hi, Randy. Hello, everybody. It's a great privilege to be with you tonight. And in Piemonte, we believe food and wine are the reason why why Piemonte is so famous all around the world. Alba is the capital of the white truffle, and it's only when you pair the right food and the right wine together that really the magic happens. At the moment, we're not having the possibility to run the Alba White Truffle Festival like we do every year because of the COVID situation. So it's great that we have the opportunity to show around the world the great food that you, Randy, and Filippo are preparing at Solare together with the fantastic white truffle. And it's a privilege to have the possibility to have your guest experience this beautiful pairing with the Prunotto wines and dishes with white truffle. And I know you are preparing this fantastic tagliarine, which actually it's a very what I really love to pair with white truffle. With white truffle, I go very easy, either a sunny side up fried egg or the tagliarine, which are the traditional egg noodles. And you were telling me before you're using the authentic traditional recipe of 30 egg yolks per kilo of flour. So congratulations, that's an incredible experience, thousands of kilometers away from Alba.
Yeah,
great job.
Thank you. No, yeah, our executive chef, Filippo Piccini, is just a great guy. Born and raised in Tuscany. So, of course, Tuscan food is better than anywhere else in Italy. But that said, though, he loves going to Genoa is one of his favorite areas. He loves going to Piemonte. He embraces foods from all over Italy. So every time we do a dish, like, for example, the plain pasta, the little ravioli shaped like a pillow. He loves doing those. And so doing the pasta tonight, he always follows the authentic recipe because he knows how well it goes with your wines. And speaking of your wines, Prunotto has been in this business for over 100 years. We're now talking the Nebbiolo grape, we're talking Barolo, we're talking other varietals, other uses of Nebbiolo like Barbaresco. But Barolo is really the key that people think of first. Tell us in your own words, what is and what has been the magic of Barolo?
Well, Barolo is, to cut a long story short, is the best place to grow Nebbiolo grape. So producing wine in Barolo, you have the opportunity to produce Nebbiolo in the best place in the world where this grape grows. It's rooted there since the 13th century, adapted to the soil. And it's very special because it used to be a seabed. So it's layer after layer after layer. The seabed sort of emerged from the sea. And then when the Alps were formed, all these layers were scattered. So if you move from one hill to the other, Barolo is in Langhe. Langhe means tongues because it's sort of rivers and valleys. So very hilly. And even just moving from one hill to the other, you're traveling in history millions of years. Just to give you an idea, from the east to the west of the Barolo appellation, there are 6 million years different soil types. So that tells you how different it can be. So in just one single place, Barolo, of course, is the name of the village, and all the vineyards around Barolo produce Nebbiolo that can produce Barolo, if you follow the rules, you have in just one very small place a lot of very different expression. So Nebbiolo, which of course you know Nebbiolo comes from nebbia because it needs that very specific microclimate created by the Alps. You know, Piemonte means at the feet of the mountains because it's surrounded by the Alps, bordering France and Switzerland. That unique microclimate and that unique soil create the possibility to make the best Nebbiolo in the world, and that is Barolo. The Savoy, the kings of Italy already knew it, and they sort of developed that idea and started the production of quality wine in Barolo area.
And you definitely would know, I mean, you personally, and certainly the entire family history of Prunotto. I believe that it all started over 100 years ago in the town of Barolo by your founder, Alfredo Prunotto. And then you've been a leader in the industry ever since, including the idea of introducing a crew. Maybe tell the group here about that.
Absolutely. So Alfredo Prunotto was the founder and still the winery carries its name, Prunotto, and that was in 1904. But a very important time for Prunotto was, a very important year for Prunotto was 1961. As the soil is so different, Prunotto was buying and producing grape in the different area in Barolo. So understanding the difference of the soil type, the different aspect in the different yields, and then blending these different single vineyards. The idea of the Barolo is like a quartet of instruments. You have the cello, the violin, the double bass, the viola. On their own, sometimes they can be a little bit unbalanced, but when you blend them, then they create a beautiful harmony, like a quartet of instruments. But after a trip in Burgundy, Beppe Colla, the winemaker back then, understood that in Piemonte, nobody was putting on the label the single vineyards, the unique places that could create very high quality and balance. And he chose Busia as the first single vineyard Barolo because the vineyard is shaped like an amphitheater. And so you can pick grapes at different aspects at different time. From the first to the last, you might have even 10 days at harvest. And then you recreate a balance within just one place. And also Busia is really in the heart of Barolo. So in a way, I always like to say that Busia expressed the two souls of Barolo, still the elegance, the finesse of the sandier soils, but already showing the muscle, the power of the clay-rich soils.
Awesome. And then as you think about Barolo, which is the town of Barolo and that region, which is also the name of the wine, but you also have another great wine, also made 100% from Nebbiolo, that people have heard of, that we're enjoying this evening, Barbaresco. So tell us about the difference. What is really, how do you compare Barbaresco and Barolo, and how do you think of it in the Prunotto winery?
Well, I would say Barolo and Barbaresco are really the two greatest expression of Nebbiolo grape. They are only a few kilometers away, 10 kilometers apart from each other, but the soil is slightly different. In Barbaresco, you have a little bit more sand and the influence of the river, while in Barolo, you have a little bit more clay and the hills are a little bit higher compared to Barbaresco. So that means that in Barbaresco, you get the most refined, the Nebbiolo, the Barbaresco that show more finesse, more elegance, a little bit more fragrant and more approachable. So they deliver more fun in their youth, but they still can age beautifully and gracefully for many years. In Barolo, especially certain parts of Barolo, the older soils, they are very clay rich. So Barolo, they are very tannic, very powerful, and they express the best powerful, the best rich, the richer Barolo, the richer Nebbiolo. So I would say elegance and finesse, Barbaresco, power and richness and complexity, the Barolo. But telling one apart from the other, blind, it's very complicated. So it's an exercise I would suggest you to do, but it's not easy.
Well, we're going to try doing it tonight, that's for sure, in just a few short minutes.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, and definitely we'll be thinking about your words as we have both of them, and people will literally have them side by side. So that'll be very, very good.
That's very fun to compare the two.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Two more questions for you. First one is, you've been Prunotto's a winery, has really been a big part of the International Italian White Truffle Festival happening right now. Always happens in October, November each year. Usually, literally millions of people from all over the world travel to Alba, very near you, as part of the festival. Clearly not happening this year. But answer maybe one simple question. Why does Nebbiolo grape, Barbaresco, Barolo go so well with truffles and white truffles?
Well, I really go with the answer, which is what grows together goes together. So the food in Piemonte, the white truffle from Alba, white truffle is called white truffle from Alba because that is where it really produces the best quality. Not only very perfumed, but also very tasty. And the food in Piemonte has been always very simple. So as we were discussing before, the egg noodles with a little bit of butter and white truffle, it's magic, but it's in its simplicity. And when you're talking about white truffle and simple food, you're looking for a wine that is very perfumed, but at the same time respect the taste, the delicate taste of the white truffle. Mm-hmm. So Nebbiolo is perfect because it's perfumed in the same way as white truffle is, but on the other hand, you can taste and savor the white truffle, and the Nebbiolo sort of will revamp the taste in your palate. So what happens is you eat the tajarin with the truffle, and then you taste a sip of Nebbiolo, Barolo or Barbaresco, and that sort of enhance the taste of the white truffle by cleaning your palate of the butter or of the eggs if you're eating eggs, and sort of making the taste of white truffle shining through your palate.
Okay, thank you for that. And then before we let you go, I mean, here in San Diego, things have been crazy with restaurants being open, closed. Our weather's getting a little bit colder. Maybe finish up with letting us know, what's it like to be living in the town of Barolo right now? What's happening with your weather? How did the harvest go for 2020? And just everything else that's going on there.
So the harvest was absolutely fantastic. As you know, with Nebbiolo, Barolo and Barbaresco, we still have to wait and see in January after malolactic fermentation is carried out. But so the quality of the grape was absolutely fantastic, both for Nebbiolo, Barbera, and Dolcetto. The reason is that was a very classic vintage, a classic year with great excursion between night and day temperature. In late September, we had a lot of snow in the Alps. So as I was mentioning before, that sort of snow caps create a fridge effect. So in the morning, the temperatures were down as much as 4 or 5 degrees Celsius in the morning, and then 15, 20 degrees in the afternoon. So that 10, 15 degrees of excursion between day and night helps in enhancing, in creating those aromatics in the Nebbiolo and Barbera and Dolcetto that are unique to Piemonte. So we're looking forward to taste the wines, but absolutely looks like a great vintage. And at the moment, as you know, we are in Italy, we are sliding down again into a soft lockdown because of the COVID situation, unfortunately. Yep. So it has been very hard for restaurants, which are closed again. But for me, that I travel every day through Langhe, Barolo, Barbaresco, and Alba, it's a magic moment because you can see the foliage, the red leaves of Dolcetto, the yellow leaves of Nebbiolo, and differently from any years I've been traveling in Piemonte in the past 20 years, it's very quiet. So you are enjoying nature in its purest expression, very quiet, very, very relaxing, and it's something we will remember for many years. But we look forward to see you again in Piemonte. We look forward to see you in Piemonte, in Prunotto. So all your guests are more than welcome to come and visit us next time. They just have to say that they come with a recommendation of Randy from Solare, and that will be the most welcome.
Well, hopefully I'll be there too. As I know you know, I lead tours. We do at the restaurant to Italy, and we will definitely be leading a tour of our customers to Piemonte to visit you, and we look forward to doing that.
I look forward, and I look forward to come to San Diego and savor your fantastic Bib Gourmand food because I know, tasting tajarin and thousands kilometers away from home, it's like being home.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Hey, thanks for taking time on this interview. We're now going to get back to the dinner and enjoy some of your great wines. You're amazing, and I will see you in Piemonte with the team around me right now.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to see you in person in Piemonte or in San Diego, and enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Have fun and enjoy. Salute.
Salute. Thank you. Ciao.